at the Firehouse. We are fortunate to have our show judge here, Paul Kratter, join us tonight. He's going to present the awards and say a few words about his judging process. But first, a few words about Paul. Paul is an award-winning landscape and wildlife painter. He's a signature member of both the California Art Club and the Laguna Plein Air Painters, co-founder of the Granite Group, and he's a born teacher. He taught illustration and landscape painting in the fine art department at the Academy of Art in San Francisco and has led many workshops. Paul has been featured in magazines such as Plein Air Magazine and Southwest Art Magazine, and you can find his instructional videos and interviews if you look him up online. Paul is also, beyond all his accomplishments and awards, he's a very generous spirit, and he loves to help other artists, and he's a supporter of local art groups. And for all these reasons, we are very fortunate to have him join us this evening. And can we do the Zoom applause one more time and give Paul a big welcome?
Thank you.
Okay, Paul, we're going to hand it off to you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. I need to see the images so I can critique tell why the work is so good. It's never easy to look at the work. It's very easy, actually. I make quick decisions about the work, but I always go through 2 or 3 times, and I make little notations, and then I go back and go very slowly with the work. And it's very methodical. And then the winners are always hard, and sometimes they're not. And so can we have the first? I don't know which one we're going with first. This was easy for me. This was number 1. This was the top award. It just struck me. It was so different. And this show was about the seasons. And I just see fall, winter, spring, summer, although we didn't have much of a spring this year with no rain. But this is just a beautiful piece. And I try very, very hard not to be judgmental. I don't know any of the work, any of the artists here. I know a couple names, but I didn't recognize anybody. So this is a very unbiased piece. I don't know the person that won this. It's very evocative. I want to say the culture might be Indian. I don't want to put anybody down. That's just what I happen to see. It's very lyrical. It's very designy. It's very pattern oriented. It's colorful. What else can I say? It's just a beautifully uplifting piece. And if there's ever a time for uplifting artwork right now, it is in these times. These are difficult with the COVID. You can, whatever side you're on, politics is a big thing right now. And this just hit home with me, and I couldn't be happier. I would love to know who this artist is. Chandana? Is Chandana on here? So if this were not COVID and I was up on stage and I assume it's a she.
She is here. Paul, she is here.
Oh, great. I would hug you. I would hug you. That's the kind of person that I am. And I can't get, let me see if I can get all the participants on here. I just can't. For some reason, I can't pull her up. I would love to meet you. I'm sorry?
Hold on.
If there's, oh, you know what I can, Anyway,
I've stopped the share, Paul, so if Chandana wants to introduce herself, she can. I've stopped the screen share.
is this the picture of her?
She should be up here somewhere.
Yeah.
Chandana, are you here? I can see your name in the list.
Hi, I'm Chandana here.
Oh,
There she is.
There we go.
Hi.
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 Yeah, you just went away.
Thank you.
You just went away. If you can just find her again, I would hug you.
Thank you.
If maybe you're married and your husband would say no, I don't want to do that. But I love your work, and I think you did a beautiful job. Where are you from?
I'm from Bangalore, India.
Okay,
I live here in Dublin.
I did get it right though. You are originally from India, and it shows in your work, and it's very colorful. And again, the patterns that you used are beautiful. And
Thank you.
and you also got the seasons in there. When I first saw, I think it was the very first piece that I came up on my screen.
No.
I had no idea if it would be the winter, but I sure made a notation. And once I went through everything twice, automatically you were it. That's how strong it was.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You should be very proud of yourself. You know, you have stiff competition. I don't know if this is the first piece you ever won. I remember mine. It happened a long time ago, but it validates everything that you do. And if you're a multiple winner, more power to you.
Thank you.
Do you think I like it?
Yeah.
I don't mean to embarrass you, but it just hits my heart. And yet I can do it with my head too, that I can see your technique. And I don't know if this is you. I don't know if this is your children or children you want to have. It doesn't matter. It hits me, and I'm the one who got paid, so I make the decisions.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I love it.
Thank you.
Should we go on to number 2? Okay. A merit award. This is okay. Very unique. It's very funny. I was in Yosemite painting, and there were 3 of us. Beth, you were one of them. We were all doing very mediocre, if not bad paintings. And then it snowed, and it had this effect. And all of a sudden we went, man, we're so good at rendering snow. But it was the real thing that was on our canvas. This is obviously a painting, and it's a rainy day painting, and you have raindrops that are, you can even see if it's in the car, the raindrops are starting to go up the windshield probably, or the ones up here in the corner, the right hand corner, you can certainly see you're not going that fast, but and here it is, kind of Christmassy time, but this is obviously would be winter time, or and that's when we typically, if we ever get our rains here. This is really quite nice. Thank you so much, and you should be really proud of yourself, Marie. Is Marie there? Because I can't see her image.
Where's Marie? All right.
And just so everybody knows, yes, I'm having a margarita, but I voted before I had the margarita. It's had no effect on me whatsoever. And I do like to have fun. I do like to have fun with everybody. But I do know what I'm talking about. I've judged a lot of shows, and I take it very seriously. And but I want people to know where I'm coming from. That drawing is very important, but themes and this theme was very important. That's why the first piece was so very strong. All these are very, very strong. And look, we have a moving winner right here. All right, can we pull up the next piece? I'm sure we're trying. Again, here's Linda's piece. And you can see this is all over the map. And I don't know if I've told any of you, when I taught classes at the Academy of Art, I would say at the end of 15 weeks, I hope you guys are further apart than when you started. And I don't ever, yes, I bring my work in all the time. I'd be honored if you are influenced by my work. I'd rather have you be far apart. Don't try to paint like me to get a better grade. And here's a perfect example. I don't paint in this style at all. And yet it's beautiful. You've got summer colors, you've got spring greens, you've got dark, almost rain clouds up there. You've got fall colors as well. You've got a linear approach. You've got these graphic scenes as well. I don't know what size this is. I'm gonna just guess it's a little bit larger. It looks that way. You've got little dots of maybe snow. I see rain up here. I love that kind of pattern. Even if it's just decorative, it works very well for me. It's well designed. It's almost torn paper looking, and yet you've got these whimsical lines. These couldn't be more different. It's similar to the very first piece, but I never go in with an agenda. I never go with, I have to look for this sort of thing, even though in my own work, drawing is very, very important. That's not always the case. And I'm glad I can see past my own, what might be construed as a prejudice. I try not to have that. So this is an excellent piece, and Linda, you should feel very proud. And I think you get, what, $30,000 for this piece? Is that true? That's a joke. That's a joke. Don't. Christine, don't worry. It's not coming out of your pocket. Let's go on to the next one. This I love. Again, could this be any different? Now we have a plate with, I don't know, hand-painted food. I did think this was glass, and this is so cool. I've never done this. We do have a little bit of glass stuff here, not a lot, but I enjoy all kinds of artwork. And this has what certainly looks like California poppy. They are the California poppies. And Emil, is that how you pronounce it, Emil? This is a beautiful, beautiful plate. It's hard to tell color-wise. Obviously, the orange pops out if the photography is a little bit warm. And I think if it's not my place to judge the photography, and maybe somebody could help somebody with how you might display this and photograph it better, I can see past it, but it might have been better at a 3/4 angle just to show a little bit more of what you have here. But you got the little insects on there. The graphic leaves are just beautiful. And I know what California poppies are our state flower. You can't pick them, and you've rendered the leaves and your very, very decorative style. This is very different and unique, and again, that's why I like it. Sometimes it's because I can't do this kind of thing. Let's go on to the next one if it's possible. Again, here's something totally different. I'm not a professional photographer, but I take photographs. And I don't know how this technique was done, but what I love is the leaves, the grass, and the sky all have this almost like rice kernels that are weaving through there. Is it the paper? I don't know. But it's not just point and shoot. You just weren't out in Hawaii with a beautiful, can't go wrong with the rainbow. This is not the most unique scene in the world if you just photographed it normally, but because you've played around in Photoshop and changed things, it can be very dangerous to put your horizon line in the middle. It's not a no-no. You have to know you're doing it. You didn't do it here. This is basically 2/5, 3/5, 2/5 above the horizon line. That's really neat. And having that sun burst through there with that little bit of glare, that's really cool. There's also some motion, a little bit of wind. You didn't take this with an f-stop that stopped the motion. There's a little bit of that. You can also see the grass moving a little bit, and it's weaving about. This is obviously a fall time. I don't know, I can't remember what these trees are, but I recognize them. My wife would be going, you should know these, but I just don't. And again, this is a very, Vanessa, you should be very happy with your $4,500 gift certificate to Flax for everybody in your family. I didn't tell you that part. So. And please don't believe it's true. This one kind of hit home for me. My wife loves doing pattern. Obviously this is fall, but the interest, whoops, we're zipping through. What I like about this is there's a tile on the ground, so it's actually breaking up the pattern into a very pleasing, you've got, oh, I don't know how it could be the golden mean way of dividing up things, and it's very close to that. And I can't remember the technical name, but it's a very pleasing thing to your eye. But my wife loves pattern, and yet this is, whether you actually move some of these objects, some of the leaves and looks like little seed pods, you move those or not, it doesn't matter. They're a very pleasing shapes, and they're not over rendered. I don't mind if they're rendered, but this has a nice lyrical watercolor, very, there's a spontaneous feel for this that I'm just going to tell everybody that I love their work, or they would not get an award. So it's easy to be happy and tell you all the different qualities that make this such a neat thing. I also love the few little green leaves, and those are nice complements to the brightish reds. And you didn't push the greens, and obviously the leaves up in the left kind of upper middle quadrant, that's the brightest red, the brightest green is right there. And to me, that's where my eye goes, and you did that very purposely. And then that line coming down, and my attention really goes to the point of the leaf right above that line. That's very critical that you didn't make a tangent. I just see all your focus being there. I don't think that's accidental. That's something that's planned. Very good. I love this, and I love watercolors. I'm wondering, reflections of Diablo, this might be way down on the southern side. I went on a scouting trip for Mount Diablo, and it's not the scene you would see from Walnut Creek. I just can't remember, but I know where this is. I'm squinting at this, it's almost, Mark, it's almost right in the middle. That's a gutsy thing, but you've got, and I commend you for that. That is not that, and what I'm talking about is that horizon line is virtually in the middle, but you have enough stuff that the foreground reeds and whatnot have a much more interesting pattern to them, and they're a little bit S-shaped, so that breaks up that hard edge line. I love the little peninsula on the right-hand side. I also love your colors. This is my palette. It's an understated palette. You've got the beautiful purpley pink Mount Diablo, the two peaks, South Peak and North Peak. I'm sure I could find this spot. It's a beautiful, beautiful scene. This color, it's probably I don't know if it can't be fall. I don't think it might be going into early spring where there's still some, it's hard to tell with the green reeds because they get so much water, but you definitely have that warmth of summer in Diablo back there. And that is such a cool, it's really well designed. The reflection of the water is subtle and very well done. Just excellent piece, Mark. I can't tell you how much money you're winning for that one. It's just ridiculous. Another honorable mention from Robin. Gee, I wonder if this is winter. It's great when it's obvious. Sometimes it's evocative when it's more subjective, but this is great. And what I love, this is not easy at all. You've got this fire blasting sunset, and look at the warmth of the snow that in the middle lower part. It's reflecting that glow in the snow. That's not easy to do. And you've got this very nondescript home back here. You have that the path, a little bit of water it looks like, and that little splash of light that's hitting the water, that's reflecting the sky. Those are not easy things to do. I would struggle with that. And Robin, this is a really beautiful piece. You should be proud. They should all be sold, but if not, they should be hanging in a prominent place at home, and you should be gushing and going, I can't believe Paul's telling me that, but it's just the truth. That's how I feel. This is so cool. I actually think I know where this is. It's on the way to Paint. It's off of Taylor and kind of Pleasant Hill, I believe, even if it's not archival pigment photograph, so it's meant to last. The neat thing, what's the story about here? It's summertime. Is it loneliness? Is it the COVID? Is the only person that's in this is the photographer? Is it just an interesting photograph? I don't know. You can make up your story. Oh, Sunol, it's Sunol, so it's a different scene, so that's why we don't see Mount Diablo. The other thing that's interesting in this, you could have waited till sunset. You could have done early morning. It's a hazy day, and most people would say, nah, it's not a day to photograph. That's the day to do intimate photographs. I know that, or dapple light. But to do a nice landscape painting is quite different, and I'm just drawn to that bench. And I just gave an award to a piece that was shot in Iceland, and there was a blue bench, a blue chair, and the guy carried it wherever he went, miles to put it in there. You didn't do this, but you found the same sort of thing. I also like the blue sky pointing to the oak tree. That's pretty neat. If somebody asks if you did that on purpose and waited for that, you always say yes, even if you didn't. You tell them it wasn't an accident, and because that your eye goes to that. Even the bench points toward that. Even this little trail that goes to the oak. Everything is saying, look at me. I'm 200 years old, and I'm going to grow another 200 years. Excellent piece. Dye painted silk. I've never done it. I don't think I've ever seen it. I have seen this look, I just wouldn't know. And again, I'm proud that I picked something that I don't know much about. It almost has a stained glass look. You could also look at this and go, that easily could be watercolor. And that's very neat that it's not, it's none of these. And Susan, this is just a wonderful piece. You have all these cool colors, and then bam, you've got the fall pumpkin. And I think that's really just a striking, I could see this as a stained glass. There's a lot of different ways that you can look at this piece. And I love that pinkish background color going to that grayed down blue purple. There's a magenta. The greens are cool. And then you've got this hot orange, almost you have orange on the top. You have a pink color in here. And then I do like the patterns. I have no idea how it's done. And again, sometimes the mystery of how it was done can be very evocative. And sometimes I don't finish a painting in every way so that you can see the canvas and maybe some of the technique coming through, because that's all part of the process. Excellent. Very cool too, something totally different. And Eugenia, these are Mr. and Mrs. Hot chocolate mugs. How appropriate for a cold night. Again, a totally different theme. And you know, you have a couple different seasons here with fall and probably spring, and you have the grapes there designed on a mug, and that's very cool. Probably not easy to paint and draw on something that has a curved surface to it. One of the trouble with any painting, the simpler it is, the more critical you are. The more busy your painting is, you get lost in all these different things. So this has an elegant quality. I love the tendril on the right side. The left side has those as well. It's a little turn. And these are hard. This is where an expert photographer might be able to help you. I don't know how, unless you had two photographs, how to photograph something like this. And that's something different. I'm curious about the black. It looks like a stripe. It may go all around the other side. And maybe there's another painting on that side, but I'm not privy to that. Even the little white dots that are reflection just ends up being interesting patterns. So well done piece, you know, technically handled very well, and yet very sensitive and well designed. Eugene, it's really nice. You're back, Beth.
That's the last one, Paul.
Oh, that was it.
Is that it?
Okay, so did we have any questions for Paul for this? I do have one.
Yeah.
I'm curious how the online judging would differ from seeing the pieces in person. Like, does the size impact, or the inability to see the size?
We've got 3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay. It does make a little bit of difference. Sometimes size, I try not to do that, but it is helpful to know what medium it is. And even the title, sometimes even putting your interpretation, because sometimes it looks like a pretty painting, and then there was one piece, so I wasn't quite sure, but if there's an explanation, then you go, oh, now I get why this might be an award winner. So I think an explanation is important. I think size, the media is important, medium. I don't think you need to cover up the name. Sometimes shows do that, and it's like, for me as an artist, I still know who a lot of the people are, but I'm professional. I can set that aside. But I think an explanation is probably a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was there, I will tell everybody, nobody's going to abuse this at all. You can put my email up there. You can go to my website. Contact me. If you want me to critique your piece, I will do that. Nobody will abuse it. Nobody ever has. But I do that. So that's, yeah, I really like, I love people. I love helping. I got a lot of help when I was in school. I still get help from friends. And so it's just, we like to pass it on. Artists are very giving.
Well, thank you so much for that. Really appreciate your thoughts on the pieces and the beautiful pieces that did win awards. And they're all lovely that are on the website. So I see that Meg has added in the show gallery link into the chat. If anybody wanted to at some point to go in, it is on the PAL website. So thank you so much, Paul, for your talk.
Yeah.
Greatly appreciate it.
You're welcome. I am going to say that, you know, these are tough times, and to, you know, try to get through and be, whether you do something like Brian Taylor's challenge, that's a great thing to force yourself to do a painting a day, a painting a week, anything to get you out of your rut is very, very helpful. You know, have your spouse, have your friend, a neighbor, you know, say, hey, you do gardening paintings really well. Why don't you do one as a gift for a friend? Like me.